Alright, Computer has MTG here. Welcome everybody to my FNM vlog. Having some technical difficulties here. My camera died on me. Good thing I had my car charger with me. Alright, so Magic the Gathering. Friday Night Magic. Standard. Esper control. Yada yada yada. If you guys saw the video that got uploaded just before I went to FNM, then you guys saw what I was playing, saw the changes that I made to the deck, and they worked. They worked relatively well. All I did was add 4 Fatal Pushes and remove a couple of cards that were a little bit subpar in my opinion, and they worked out very, very well. So, let's see, I'll talk about the results first, and I'll talk about the... more light! One more light! So I'll talk about... Actually, no, this one can stay off. Well, I lost my train of thought. Talk about the results first, and then I'll talk about some changes that I could make, and some changes that... brain freeze. Alright, let's run it back. First, I'll talk about the damn results, the games, how they played out. Then I'll talk about the changes that I think I should make and what trouble I'm having, or which decks are giving me trouble. So, first match, completely out of left field. This deck, I was not expecting it. I was against the blue-black Eldrazi, and I wasn't really ready for it per se. My deck is geared to deal with it. Actually, rewind that. It's not geared to deal with it because that would imply that it is a deck that my deck takes in consideration when it was built, but it is not. So it is not geared to deal with it, but it does have the tools to deal with it. That's much better. Now on the first game of the match, I won. Just, you know, what you would expect from an Esper control list, or your typical Gear Hulk control. Just play Gear Hulk, Glimmer, Gear Hulk, Glimmer, Gear Hulk, Glimmer, and when you start chaining those together, you just get so much advantage between removal and answers and counters and more Gear Hulks and more Glimmers. It's absurd. So first match, I just boom, 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 answer after answer after answer, threat after threat. I was just popping off, and I took the win. Second match, I don't know what the fuck happened. It's like my deck decided to just not work. It didn't help that I had all my cards stacked because of the video, and I drew literally 3 shambling vents. I drew 3 shambling vents in a row. I don't know. It's, you know, you want to draw your land, but you also want to draw answers. And the third game, I just didn't draw too much. Honestly, I feel like on the third game I kept a very greedy hand, and I should have mulliganed, and I didn't. So I'm pretty sure that's why I lost. But there was a little bit of back and forth, but my opponent ended up winning. So first match went 1-2. On the second match, I went up against a red deck, just mono red. Again, that one came out of left field. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm assuming it's a budget deck. I don't think the guy even had a sideboard, so it must have been a newer player. And the first game he took the win. He got me a couple of times with those what are they called? They're 1/1s with haste. Whenever they attack, you exile the top card of your library, then you can sack him, and you exile you discard your hand, and then you put the cards that were exiled with that guy into your Bomat Courier. There you go. So he got in some damage with Bomat Courier. He got in some damage with the that vampire that has. Man, I can't remember the name of half of these cards, man. It's the 1/1 vampire with menace, and you can sacrifice and discard a card to draw a card, I think it is. Anyways, he had a bunch of 1 mana drops, and yeah, he had madness, so it was a mono red madness deck. So he had the vampires with madness, he had a bunch of discard tools and whatnot. So he had 1 card, and I messed this up, and I almost wanted to be like, you know what, actually before, and I don't want to be one of those people. I hate those people. I talked about it in one of those videos, in one of my vlogs. I don't like doing, what are they called? Take backsies. I don't like giving people freebies like that, so I took the loss. I fucked up. You know, you gotta man up and just take it. So what happened was he had 1 vampire, I guess at the beginning of his upkeep. beginning of the combat step, he can discard a card, whatever, it doesn't matter what it does. What matters is that it's a free discard outlet, and he cast, what was it, Avacyn's Revenge, or some shit, something like that. It's that burn spell, and when you cast it for its God, those lights are bright. When you cast it for its madness cost, you pay red and double X, and you deal that much damage. You deal X damage, and yeah, he got me. I had removal in hand, I just didn't pay attention to that interaction, and I could have killed it during the main phase, and I would have won the first game, but I fucked up, manned up, took the loss, went on to Game 2. Game 2 I won, and Game 3 I won. They're not exactly, they weren't exciting plays. I mean, it's a control deck versus a aggro/burn deck, so, you know, just clear the field, put out Gear Hulks, you know, swing, swing, swing. At one point I had 3 Gear Hulks out, so, you know, that's 15 damage to the face, so that game ended up fast. The third match, I went up against a friend of mine, and he's playing a somewhat outdated deck, and I'm playing a somewhat sub-average deck, so I feel like we were evenly matched. The first game was, all 3 games were fun, to be honest. The first game was fun, and I just grinded him out again with the Gear Hulk advantage. Damn, motorcycles allowed. Grinded him out with the Gear Hulk advantage, and I lost. So, wait, did I say I won? Did I say I lost? First match, second, did I? Holy shit. No, yeah, I lost the first game. I was just answer, and he just kept putting out threats. So I ended up running out of answer. He didn't end up running out of threats, so he ended up getting me that way. And then the next 2 games I won. The second game I won. The third game actually would have went down to time, and my buddy just gave me the win, which is nice of him. But we kept playing, and I just wanted to see if I could have taken the win. And I had 3 Gear Hulks out by turn 2, I think it was. So yeah, on the turn 3 I would have swung for lethal. So even had he not given me the win, I believe, unless he played differently, I believe that I would have gotten the win. We just played the match out after he told the judge, you know, what the score was. So gave me the win, played it out. I still think I would have won. But anyways, fun match. My buddy was running an Avacyn mid-range deck, which actually did I just? Oh no! For a second I thought I passed my my apartment complex. For being a somewhat outdated deck list, it actually does relatively well. It's not running any of the newer cards like Vergis, Gear Hulk, and it doesn't have the Constrictor and all those cards. It doesn't have Fatal Pushes or anything like that. But for being what it is, it actually puts up quite a fucking fight. And then the fourth and final match, I was up against the 4-color Aether Revolt. What am I talking about? I'm all over the fucking place tonight. I always am. Let's be honest. My brain doesn't work half the times. Okay, fourth match. Fourth match. I was against a 4-color Dynavolt Tower deck. And the first match, I never played against that deck. I've never seen it played. I've seen deck lists of it, but I've never seen it played or played against it. So I wasn't sure what to expect, and I got completely fucked over by, I think he had 2 Dynavolt Towers on, just burn Dynavolt, and got me. The second game, I was able to resolve my Gear Hulks and counter some stuff. I countered a couple of deactivations, and I was able to resolve my... Well, of course, I was able to resolve this next card. I resolved my Sphinx of the Final Word, and that was good. That was really good. That meant that, you know, my Glimmers and everything else resolves. I don't have to worry about getting stuff countered. I can just, you know, essentially lets me win. It's an auto win to every counter war. I don't really have to worry about if my opponent has a counter in hand, unless I'm, you know, playing a Planeswalker or another Gear Hulk or anything like that. So I got the win from there. And then the third match, boy, oh boy, that was a fun match. Also, check this out, because this is new from when I moved. Look at it. Oh, shit, I have a garage now. Aren't I a big adult? Anyways, third game in the fourth match, that was a fun as fuck game. That was a very close game. So, my opponent mulled down to 4, and I was able to answer the few things that he put out. I took care of his first tower. I took care of a couple of other things. And then I resolved my Gear Hulk. And I was able to block the... what's the blue-green manland? The one with fucking hexproof. Lumbering Falls. I was able to get rid of Lumbering Falls. Anyways, got to the point where there was a period of time where all I had in hand was removal. And I had no answer to the Lumbering Falls. I had no Gear Hulks. I had nothing. I was digging as much as I could for things. I wasn't getting them. But eventually, I was able to get Gear Hulk. Threw him out. My opponent was able to resolve a tower after that. I had another Gear Hulk in hand. I could have stabilized from there. I could have turned the game around because my opponent was down to 10 life. I hit him twice with Gideon, and he was able to get rid of Gideon. So there were a couple of mistakes that I made in that game that I shouldn't have. Like, for example, my Gideon being at 2, I plussed them to get in that 5 damage that brought my opponent down to 10, knowing my opponent would have probably activated his Lumberfall and killed my Gideon. I knew that, but I thought I would have gotten threats fast enough. So I just wanted to get in as much damage as possible, like, you know, with Gideon. That didn't happen. So I should have played it safe, made a token, have a blocker out while trying, you know, constantly make tokens while trying to dig for whatever. That would have been the best play, and maybe I would have won the game too because of Gideon. But I messed up, so that didn't happen. And yeah, I ended up losing. So final score is 2-2. Got me a pack that I'll open up, and I got a promo that I'll show that in the finally 3rd episode of FNM Loot. Been, you know, a long time coming. God damn, I've been sucking ass at these Friday Night Magic, so man, the camera angle's all sorts of fucked up. Whatever. Video's about over. So what changes would I make to the Esper deck? Probably more artifact removal and a couple of more counters. I have a lot of issues dealing with decks that are not heavy on threats. That are not heavy on creatures. If I'm against another control deck, I start to have a lot of issues because now a good chunk of my cards, even if I sideboard in as much stuff as possible, a good chunk of my cards, they don't interact with my opponent. So I probably need to figure something out there, maybe more counters, Fragmentize to take care of the Dynavolt towers that are being played actually pretty often nowadays. And because the only answer that I have to the towers is the Anguished Unmakings and counters. And if I can counter and it hits, you know, against the burn deck sometimes, especially if I'm relatively low in life, I don't want to take the 3 damage, so I hesitate and all that. So Fragmentize or other answers would be good. And we'll see, I might change up the deck a little bit. If I do, I'll make another video about it. And yeah, so I think most of the changes that I need to do are on my sideboard. I think my main board is alright. If anything, I might completely cut the Dynavolt towers. Even now in all 4 games, I ended up taking them out. They're just not too good in my deck list. If this was Grixis, this was more geared to just blast off spells or whatever, then yeah, towers would be good. If I ran 3 or 4 towers, it would be good. But I'm running 2 towers. Half the times I don't draw them, and the times that I do, it's too late into the game. I'm not building enough energy. Dealing 3 damage is not that great at that point. So, you know, it is what it is. So if I was running Grixis or a different type of deck that also has burn spells and whatnot, I might play with it. But I think I'm going to cut that out. Probably, like I said in the deck tech video that I made, might put in a Gideon or something. You know, more threats, more things to interact with my opponent, even if it's a control deck. So yeah, so Heavy Niche went 2-0 or 2-2. Man, come on, 2-2. Need more artifact removal. Need more ways to interact with control decks. And funny enough, right now I have issues with control decks. So that's it for this vlog. I dragged it on a little bit more than I should have, really, because my mind ain't working right tonight. So yeah, let me know. Actually, let me turn off the car. I probably don't want to have the engine running inside of a closed space. That's pretty bad. So yeah, let me know how your Friday Night Magic was if you attended. Let me know what deck you played. Let me know what you went up against. Any cool stories, throw them in the comments down below. And other than that, as always, please share, like, comment, subscribe. Hit that button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.